MVP, most valuable player. Robert, who do you have? You can throw in some other ideas, nominees, shortlisted. You can just keep with your winner, however you want to go about it.
I mean, I think it's a crowded field. I think it is. It's a tough one to pick this year because I don't think that there's a runaway favorite halfway through the season. I think a lot of things are going to change over the back half of the year as it relates to this conversation. I think that Josh Allen should be mentioned just in the way that Josh Allen was playing well. It's one of the best offenses in the league. Have to throw that in there. Mahomes might have been my pick before last week. I think coming off of that game, it'd be tough to give it to him, right?
We're going to have the same answer. All right, keep going.
And so Mahomes is I think you have to mention it, but I don't think you can land there. I think you can't have an MVP conversation right now without mentioning the way that Matthew Stafford has played this year. Matthew Stafford is playing like a top 3 to 5 quarterback and drives so much of that team's success. And so I think you have to mention him. To me, it really did come down to 2 guys, though. Sam Darnold is right there for me. I think Sam Darnold is playing crazy good football. And some of that, if you're isolating it, and we'll talk about this again when we talk about assistant coach of the year, Seattle has done a fantastic job of creating advantageous situations for their quarterback to throw the ball. The structure of the offense does some lifting when you look at some of the efficiency metrics and all of that. And I'm willing to concede that. But even if you try to separate those things, the throws that he is making and the way that he is playing down to down, he's playing remarkably well for the most efficient passing offense in football. And I do think that goes a really, really long way. But at the end of the day, I think it's Drake May.
Unbelievable.
I think it's Drake May.
Let's hear it.
You look at the numbers, Drake, and it shouldn't be totally driven by this, but I think these are good tiebreakers, right? And so
agreed.
You look at just total EPA generated on next gen stats in the NFL this year. Number 1, total value generated at the position is Drake May. And so, EPA is a health of the passing game stat. We know that. It is not directly related to the quarterback. So let's untangle this a little bit. Let's talk about the health of the other aspects of the New England Patriots passing game. I think Josh McDaniels has done an excellent job this season. Excellent. I love watching the offense because it feels so cohesive. But at the same time, the offensive line is okay. It's functional. You can get by with it, right? Yes,
that's how I've been
arguably one of the most improved units in the league, but that still leaves them middle of the pack at the very best. The pass catchers, I like. It's kind of a weird island of misfit toys sort of thing. The way they use Booty makes total sense for Drake's skill set, and Papa Douglas can have one of those pop games every once in a while. And I like the mesh that he and Diggs have. Hunter Henry is weirdly maybe the most valuable pass catcher on the team in some stretches, which is kind of crazy, but nothing is overwhelmingly good. And this is still the quarterback who has produced the most value of any player in the league. And he's doing it with big time throws, accuracy, decision-making, all the quiet, and not even quiet at this point, value he adds as a scrambler. That is solely on him. And so when you look at advanced numbers, eye test, down to down, all of that stuff, I think he's been the most valuable player in the NFL this season. I really do.
I thought I was going to have to be the one making all these arguments. So you're making it easy on me. I'll just start. I'll reverse it and start with my selection because I would agree. I have Drake May as well as my MVP. And really, I went into this not expecting to have that as my answer, believe it or not, because really in my head, it was Josh Allen. And then I started kind of looking. I was like, well, Stafford actually. And then it kind of, again, I really feel, I'll put it this way. How many guys I looked up notes on, looked up stats on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I looked up stats on Jordan Love, but I just can't give it to him. So if I looked at that final 5, it's the same guys you mentioned: Stafford, May, Allen, Darnold, Mahomes. Those are the guys I looked up and I said, that's my 5 right there. But even my one thing was, and this is if you look at anywhere online or anyone that is just kicking and screaming, getting dragged into Patriots relevancy again, is, oh, they've played such an easy schedule. They played such an easy schedule.
That's totally fair.
But then I looked and I agree. They have played an easy schedule. They've played, per DVOA, the Patriots offense, just in general, has played the 16th hardest schedule. So middle of the pack, or 16th easiest, if you want to put it that way.
The Browns are a bad team with a good defense. The Falcons are a middling team with a good defense. There are some examples where you can understand how that number gets driven to that place.
And so it's 16th. So it's middle of the pack. And I was like, all right, well, that's not really as much of a got to knock him as much as it's not 28th. It's not 29th. Actually, the guy that's played the easiest schedule, according to DVOA, is Josh Allen. Of those 5 guys, they face the 4th easiest schedule. But I looked it up, all the numbers. This is True Media. I kind of go back and forth, True Media and Next Gen Stats. But 1st in success rate, 4th in EPA per dropback, everything you're saying. 7th in DVOA. They're 7-2 leading the East. So you also get the wins element of this as well, which is important, I think, for MVP. 4th in net yards per attempt. He does take a few too many sacks, but he is the team. He is the offense, and they have a lot of fine out there. But he's like making them look a lot better. Booty has played really well this year. Well, he's looked a lot better when every ball is in his face mask or in his chest, and then Diggs has kind of been off and on. He's had the blow up game against the Bills, kind of been in and out of the lineup. Matt Collins is Matt Collins. He's a dirty work guy. They're trying to get Kyle Williams going. Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper are solid tight ends, but they're not like, oh my God, the greatest guys I've ever seen in my life. And then the O-line is improved, but, it's not. Garrett Bradbury is still not good. The right side's still not great. And the defense is good against the run, but it's not a true top 8, top 10 defense. So again, if we're talking about MVP, most valuable player, who's doing the most for their team, sometimes it's easy. You picking the team that has the best offense and everything. To me, it's Drake May because of just how much he's carrying. If I had to go get my arm twisted and go pick someone else, I would go with Stafford because of just what he is doing right now and how he's operating right now is probably the best I've ever seen. And I'm including his Super Bowl year where I thought that was the best I've ever seen him play. But again, he's up there too. 8th in success rate, 2nd in DVOA. Leads the league in touchdowns if you're into the missionary style stats. We kind of face the middle of the pack schedule. Haven't you missed me? I've faced the middle of the pack schedule as well. 9th in EPA per dropback. But again, all these guys have stats, but none of those stats were like, other than Darnold, really. But then again, it's some of the offensive system stuff we talk about Clint Kubiak. So if I maybe have Darnold at 3rd, I would say. And that's crazy to me because a week ago, I probably had Mahomes and Allen up there. But that's why it's so hard to do this because it's tight with this MVP race. All the Darnold stats are ridiculous. 2nd in success rate, 3rd in EPA per dropback, 2nd in QBR, 1st in net yards per attempt, 9 net yards an attempt, 1st in DVOA, 41.5%, 10% higher than Stafford in 2nd, which is, it's just, they're playing a 7th hardest schedule on DVOA. The offensive system is perfect for him because they're not making him do a bunch of quick decisions. It's all stuff that's it's elongated play action stuff. So he doesn't have to be nickel and diming. You want Darnold diming and quartering. You want him pushing and making big plays. You don't want him to be a pristine operator, but they're using him perfectly. But I went with May as well because I think he's doing the most with the least, and they're having results. This isn't just me. All 22 process. Look at these Tuesday clips. It's no, they're winning games and scoring points. So
I think that's really important. I think that's really important is that it is checking every single box. And I think with all the other guys, there's at least one other aspect of the offense where you're they can lean on this in such a real way. With the Seattle, they have JSN. JSN is playing at just an extreme level.
Historic level.
We talked about it yesterday, me and Derek. Are there 10 players in the NFL that are non-quarterbacks right now that are more valuable or better than Jackson Smith and Jigba? I don't think so. And so having that is a little bit of a cheat code within the offense. Some of that, Darnold is driving some of that in the way that he's been able to push the ball down the field. But I think having that, it's not a disqualifier, but it's an important bit of context. With the Bills, the Bills have the best running game, arguably, in the NFL. Their ability, the fact that Josh Allen can just win a game right now, if they ran the ball 45 times against a bad run defense and he would barely participate in the football game. Yeah. That's not to detract from what Josh Allen is as a player. He's Josh Allen. The Patriots can't do that, right? There is no version of an NFL game that can play out that way for New England. And so when you get into those nitty gritty, these are the tiebreaker type things, there just isn't an aspect of the Patriots that they can lean on that's not Drake May right now. And when you combine that with the proof is in the pudding with the numbers, I do think that combination is kind of what pushes it over the top for me.
I'm right there with you. That's exactly how I view Allen. It's that I love the run game, and it's better for the Bills. And if you're a Bills fan, you should be happy that it's not the Josh Allen show all the time. But that's incredible for them if and when they make the playoffs. It's more the questions are on their defense, but offensively, that ability to pivot, well, they can pivot to an actual strength, which is one of the best run games, or if the best run game. And then Josh Allen
might be the pivot.
Yeah, He's the pivot. Oh,
Yes.
okay, Josh. Now it's time to roll. Go do your thing, Josh. Let's go have some fun here.
Which is wild considering the conversations we were having about the Bills in like 2021. Like it feels like I'm in the Twilight Zone. It's crazy.
Oh God. Oh, I brought up a 2021 Bills reference the other day. I was talking about they played the Bucks that year, and they threw the ball like 50 something times. And I remember that was the pivot point, I think, as a franchise, because that's when Dable left after that a couple months later to go to the Giants. And since then, they've realized we can't be that extreme anymore. Their running backs, I think, only had 7 carries the entire game. They threw it 50 something times, and Josh Allen had 10 carries. And it was that, and they lost the game to the Bucks in overtime. I'll never forget it. It was in December. I was like week 12 or so, week 13. And that to me was like the entire franchise going like, we can't, that's too extreme. We've gone too spread. We've gone too much Cole Beasley. We've got too many read routes and RPOs. Okay. And then now look at them. Reggie Gilliam is one of their most important players.
Jackson Hawes. Like the fact that we're having so much Jackson Hawes discourse is like, says a lot about where the Bills are right now.
It's a good thing as a franchise, even if it hinders a mid-season football 301 award.
And that's what really matters.